In this video, we're going to talk about for loops in Java. So first, I'm just going to write down an example, so you get familiar with the syntax, and then I'll just walk you through the example. And in the next video, I will go over a more complicated example, and then talk about some common errors that you can encounter when you deal with for loops. And finally, I'll just show you a program that has a for loop in it. So for loops are very powerful. They allow you to iterate to different things, files, lists. So let's say you're looking for the name John in a list of names. You just iterate to the list and see if the name John is there. Or let's say you're looking for the word happy in a document, and you just iterate to that document and you see if the word happy is there. So I'm just going to write down the syntax here. So let's say we have public class, and I'm just going to call it iteration. So my program is going to be called iteration. If you're not familiar with the syntax, just copy paste it for now, and you can refer to my other videos to where I talk about it, where I talk about the syntax. So let's have my main method here. So public static void. So it should be public static void main and string brackets args, and then open bracket, close bracket. Let me just get a different color here. Okay, show colors. There we go. So this is going to be my for loop. I didn't get it right. Let me just get this right. Toolbox. Okay, this is good now. So for int I, so I'm just declaring a variable and I'm assigning the value 0 to it. I'll explain to you why I'm assigning the value 0 to it. I smaller than 3. Let's assume that we want our for loop to run for 3 times only. So I smaller than 3, and I plus plus. So this just increments I. Sorry, this should be open bracket and then close bracket. So let me just recap. So this assigns the value 0 to integer I. And the reason we start from 0 is because indexing in Java starts from 0. So let's say we had an array of names. This very first element would be index 0, not 1. So if we started from 1, we would miss this. So that's why you start from 0. Otherwise, you can assign any integer value to I. So you might be in a situation that you want to assign the value 1 to I. But if you're dealing with lists or arrays, most of the time you have to start from 0. Now this is a conditional statement. Every time your for loop is about to run, this is verified. And if it's true, the for loop is run. This just increments I at the end. So whenever the for loop reaches the end, this value of I is incremented. So let me just put a print statement here. So I just want to print things to the screen. So system.out.print, and ln just print ln just print would just print everything to one line, and ln just prints things to different lines. So it prints one thing and goes to the next line, prints the other thing. And let's just say we want to know what cycle we are in, which cycle. So cycle 1, cycle 2. So cycle plus I, and close bracket, semicolon. So here what I'm doing, and this I is the same as this I. So this is a string. right? We have quotations, so they signify the fact that this is a string, and we're adding I, so we're not adding an integer to a string. That doesn't make sense. What we're instructing the Java compiler to put these two strings together, so then you get one string. So here, so this is not in my program. This entire part that is under this yellow line. So here I'm just going to write down what sort of happens in the background, and it's generally a good habit to do this, especially when you have a lot of variables and you want to keep track of things. So it's a good habit to have it. So initially the value I is, the value 0 is assigned to I. So this conditional is verified. So is 0 smaller than 3? Yes. So we print cycle 0. And obviously it's not cycle 0, it's cycle 1, but as I said, because we're starting indexing from 0, we get cycle 0 instead of cycle 1. And then when you reach the end of this block, I is incremented, so you get 1. Actually, I'll just put it here. Okay, this doesn't look good. 1, there we go. So is 1 smaller than 3? So this is, by the way, this part, it only happens once, and that's at the very beginning. The second round and the rounds after, this doesn't happen. So you can just disregard it. So is 1 smaller than 3? Yes. So then we get another print statement. So this is executed. So we get cycle 1. And then I is incremented again. So we get 2. And is 2, and this is disregarded again. Is 2 smaller than 3? Yes. So we get cycle 2. Now this is where something interesting happens. So I'm just going to use a different color. So now I is incremented again. But this time it takes the value 3, right? Is 3 smaller than 3? No. So then what happens is that the for loop terminates. And you see that we've done actually 3 cycles, right? We started from 0 and we counted 2, so we have essentially done 3 cycles. That's why we didn't have I smaller or equal to 0. Anyway, I will see you in the next video.